today. This is Dawn Behind the Wall, and we are doing an interview today with Michelle. She has a lot to talk about, a very, very serious situation that she wants to share with us all. Please make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell for push notifications right here on YouTube at Dawn Behind the Walls, and then also the United Ronin Networks with Ralph and Illuminati Cool. Make sure you also subscribe there to find upcoming Behind the Walls episodes and many other shows as well. Make sure you do that. Make sure that you can share and subscribe. And we are going to get right into this. Michelle, how are you today?
I'm great.
Great.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on. Your situation, when I found you, I was just like, it's too common. And he has already spent so much time, and I just really want you to get your story out there. And I'm going to give you the floor so that you can tell the world everything that you want them to know, and everything that they can do to help, and where to find you. So please take the floor.
All right. Well, again, thank you for having me. This story is very near and dear to my heart. I met Shannon Aqua Simmons 6.5 years ago inside the walls. I was doing a workshop with another friend of both of ours, and I was finishing my master's degree and asked if I could use one of the guys, or a couple of the guys, to finish my master's degree on sentencing. And one of the guys was Shannon Aqua Simmons, and he told me his story about how he was incarcerated falsely. In 1994, he was arrested for a crime he did not commit. He was 18 years old. He was living on the streets, and the reason he was living on the streets was because he was, a juvenile that was, I would call, out of control.
Right.
And his family could not handle him. Mm-hmm. And having two teenage boys, I totally get that now. So he was living out on the street doing his own thing, thinking that he could do whatever he wanted and that kind of thing. And he got caught up with the wrong people, selling drugs, and but that's all he was doing, was selling drugs. He is a Muslim. He got into that religion by being on the streets and found faith that way. But he was messing with the wrong people, and one night a gentleman got killed, and Aqua knows who the gentleman was, but when he was taken into custody, he would not give that name up, because that's not what you do when you're in the streets. You don't snitch on somebody. So that's exactly what he did not do, is he would not give that name up. So the investigator told him, listen, you're going to be charged for this crime if you don't do this. Well, he thought that the other people, his friends in quotations, would have his back, and they did not. Right. And they ended up talking against him. Some of them were having crimes over their head, so that he had to give what, they ended up just, getting out of their crime to tell on Aqua, to charge Aqua with this crime. Okay?
Right, that's very, very common.
Yes. So he ended up taking the plea. Well, one of the things was that the judge wanted to do, and this is a big thing in his case, right, is the judge said you have to give a blood sample. Mm-hmm. Now, he's a black male, okay? He's 6'4", and he's like, okay, this is how they're going to pin this on me. He's like, no, I'm not giving my blood up, because his blood was not anywhere in the scene. So they went ahead, and the judge brought him back to the courtroom and said, listen, if you do not give your blood up, we will strap you down and we'll take it. So he says, okay, I'm going to do it. They did it. They found behind the scenes that his blood had nothing to do with it. They didn't bring it up in court. His own lawyers did not bring it up in court. Now, I've spoke to his lawyers, his original lawyers, and they had told me that the thing that incriminated him was because he got on the stand and told the truth.
Right.
So it doesn't make sense. But anyways, so he got 50 years to life. He got aggravated robbery and aggravated murder and aggravated, I can't say this word, burglary. I can't say it. The B word I always say. Yeah. So anyways, he got all three of those. And he has been fighting his case. Back in 2003, the governor asked that picked probably about 20 or 30 some guys, and they were all guys, to check the DNA. And Aqua was one of them. And so they brought him in, and the Innocent Project picked Aqua up from that. They did all the legwork.
Right.
Everything that has to do with the legwork of finding him innocent. He was at Trumbull Correctional at this time. And everybody at Trumbull, the COs, the administration, everybody said, you're walking, you're out of here, man. And so, he gave everything away that he owned because he really thought that he was walking. He was 31, 32 years old. And so he was like, I'm leaving. And the Innocent Project did it all up, and they went to go find the DNA because they have to have the DNA. They went and found the DNA, and the DNA was not there. So, of course, the blood was not there.
Right.
Now, he did appeal his case back in 95, but his appeal lawyer, Patricia Smith, did not put in there about the blood. So not any time nobody brought up the blood that was threatened that he had to give blood. Nobody brought up the blood. So they knew they knew that he didn't do it, but they had to convict somebody of this heinous crime, and because so many people on the streets, there were that side that did not like him. He was cocky, like any teenager.
Right.
So anyways, so the Innocent Project said, I'm sorry, we can't help you. I wish that we could, but we just can't. And so he ended up letting it go. He really couldn't do anything. He didn't have the money to try and get another lawyer. So
that is the case with most people inside.
Yes.
They're in there because they're stuck because they have no money.
That's right. So the money that he did have, I think he had somebody in his life that, he did have some money that he, at the time the Innocent Project was doing it, he ended up retaining a lawyer, but it was not enough to keep him on, so as a retainer. So anyways, that kind of fell through. I met him in 2012.
Okay.
And we did a relationship workshop together. I did my interview with him. And then after that, I did the process of trying to come in and see him so I could finish my thesis And then we had a lot of things that we wanted to talk about together that we wanted to do. We both loved helping teens. He helped teens in Trumbull. They brought him from the outside in, and they helped him. He was in a lot of great things, a lot of programming. He always did a lot of programming. So anyways, I ended up getting in. I ended up seeing him for 5 months. My boys came in to see him. And then all of a sudden, they took our visits away.
Oh.
Because of some bad stuff that people made up about us. Because, again, they did not like him.
Right.
And so they made some stuff up about us and said that I did the relationship workshop. Anyways, they got us on establishing. They said we were establishing. They had they had nothing to back it up, but they kept us away from each other for 4 years. So
wow.
We got our visits back, so that's all good now. But in the process of this whole thing, I'm still working on his case, still trying to get everything out there, trying to find a good lawyer. I did find a lawyer. He didn't really help us as much as I thought that he would help us.
Right.
So it was very discouraging. And we got charged a lot of money for it. And in the process of me looking at everything, I contacted the clerk of courts of Cuyahoga County, and that is in Cleveland, Ohio. That's where his case took place.
Okay.
And I got lucky. A gentleman told me, he's like, Michelle, did you know there's a lot of evidence here? And I said, what are you talking about? He said, there's like a box of all this stuff. And I said, well, it's probably used during the trial. He said, yeah, it probably was. He said, but there could be something here. And so me being new to this and everything, I didn't really know how to, go about it. So the lawyer that I had hired for him said, well, I have to go through all this other stuff first and read everything before I'm willing to go down there and get the stuff. Well, he never did any of that.
Oh.
And so I ended up contacting the Ohio Innocent Project. The Ohio Innocent Project, Jennifer was very nice to me and was like, I will help you. If you find something, I will help you.
Right.
Because I know that from everything that we went through, this man is innocent.
Right.
And the only thing that we don't have is the actual blood. So I told her about the situation, what I found, what's down there. I confirmed recently that it was down there. I talked to his other lawyer that was with Jennifer back in the Ohio Innocence when he paid this lawyer, and he said, you need to get this out because this stuff that's in there could help him walk free now.
Right.
So I called Jennifer, and she told me that she's looking into it, but I have not heard back from her yet. So that's where we stand with that. But I don't know. When you deal with these lawyers, you don't know if they're just blowing smoke up your butt.
Right.
And I don't think that she is. I just think that she's busy, and I just don't know how much she really wants to put into this case. The problem is funding is a huge issue with, like you said, everybody.
Right.
In this situation. It's so easy to get in prison. It's so hard to get out.
Exactly.
So, Aqua has been, he has not just sat in prison and done nothing. He has not just sat there and it was like, oh, well, I'm just going to sit here and do my time. He's been very busy into programming. He's written 3 books already. He has music that he was able to do. inside those walls. And so he's been very productive in the person that he is. And I think that's what kind of attracted me to him, because he wasn't one of these people that are just sitting there just buying time.
Right.
He is acting like he is out here the best way that he can to do what he needs to do. And he's been getting hit with bricks the whole time because of how confident of a man that he is.
Right.
And, you know, I can get down at times like, oh, my gosh, this is crazy, and I just don't know what to do. I don't know where to go, what wall to crash down so I can, you know, find somebody that could help us and hear our story and that kind of thing. So, you know, one of those things he told me, actually we were just talking about tonight, he said, you can't stress about me being in here and people not listening, because God always has a plan for us, and he's going to work those things out. He said, if I sat in here and stressed about that stuff, I wouldn't be alive right now.
Wow.
He said, because I have to have confidence in God that he's going to push me to that level. And, you know, his family's very supportive. He has a big family in Detroit. Okay. And in Cleveland. He's from Detroit originally. And, you know, his grandmother's still alive. She's very supportive of him. His parents both have passed. But he has a strong relationship with all his cousins and his sisters. They're very supportive with him, and, you know, they help when they can. But I think they give him that support. But when somebody's been in prison for so long, it's just where they're at.
Yeah.
You know, and life goes on. And I think that if it's not somebody that you're in a relationship with, or it's not your child, I think that sometimes it gets misled, and people just go on with their lives.
Yeah,
and he understands that.
Like a out of sight, out of mind mentality.
Mind.
People get.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're busy with their kids and their families, and he understands that. And I think that is what is so awesome about him, is that he is this great burst of sunshine. I mean, it doesn't matter what's going on. He always has a smile on his face. And it's like, you know what? We're going to get through this. And, you know, I guess my thing is I'm just trying to get help. I'm trying to get his story out there to say, look, all the facts are here. I have all his transcripts. I was blessed by calling Cuyahoga County, and because his case was in 95, I don't know how I got it, but this young girl, I remember her name, first name, Katie. She's probably not even there anymore, but she helped me, and she sent me all of his transcripts. We're talking over 1,000 pages.
Wow.
Of transcripts. And she sent them over email.
Oh.
And she sent them all to me. And I tell you what, those right there are everything to me, because this is his case, and this is everything that we have. I mean, you know, there was a half-eaten candy bar, and, you know, all of these things, none of them went back to him. He got teeth impressions. He got, I mean, everything that you possibly could, and they still convicted this man. He doesn't go to the parole board until 2042. He'll be 62 years old. Yes.
Oh, no.
He's 41.
And he's been in there for how long already?
23 years.
Okay.
23 years this year.
Wow.
So he doesn't go to the parole board till he's 62 years old. And I don't know who figured that little scheme out. But so at this point, he has no leeway. And spending money on these lawyers, and I get the lawyers have to get paid. I get that.
Right.
But it's plain in evidence that this man did not do it.
Right.
Now, he got word that the real person that did it is dead.
Oh, God.
Yes. So there are people out there, though, that could come forward and say, I know him. I was part of this case. I mean, I've looked all these people up on Facebook.
Right. You got and
they're all still alive and kicking. But the problem is, if you interfere with the case, you could ruin it. So you have to be really careful.
Right.
So all these people are out here, and they can't get charged with anything because it's over the statute of limitations. So I think the statute of limitations is 16 years for something
16.
like this. And
16?
Is it
and that's for Ohio,
15?
Right?
Yeah, that's for Ohio.
Okay.
Yes, he's in Ohio. So right now he is he's currently at a level 3. He's getting hopefully down to a level 2. You know, he's not perfect by any means. You know, he's made some mistakes in there, which got him to a level 3. But, you know, I mean, that's pretty good for being incarcerated for 23 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're not perfect out here.
No.
So,
it's much harder in there to behave. You have a lot of people that will push
Absolutely.
your buttons on purpose.
Right. Right. Yep. So, I don't know. I guess personally, I just want him home with us. He is very close to my boys who are 17 and 20. We are very close now, and he is planning on coming out and living here. I'm not giving up. So if that means that I'm going to be doing the next 30 years, I'm going to be doing the next 30 years with him. And I'm all in. It's not easy having a relationship like this. But,
no, it's not easy. But actually, it's probably one of the most difficult relationships that you could have, because not only is it long distance, it's where you're dealing with somebody that's in a very corrupt prison system, that's in a very corrupt country that uses the prison system the way that they do. And we have to work together, and we got to, you know, let people know. And if he didn't have you and he didn't have people that cared about this that was going on, he'd have no hope.
Right. That's right. And, you know, there was a point of time where it was just him. You know, like I said, the families get involved with their own lives and that kind of stuff. And so, you know, he's been by himself. He's told me that. But he said, gosh, if I wasn't lonely at some time, I wouldn't be as strong as I am now.
Right.
And he's never swayed on his story. I've asked him multiple times to tell me his story again. In person, on the phone, everything. Because, you know, that's where you can really tell if a person is lying or whatever. He's not lying. And we've gotten into specifics. And I mean, I think he knew what I was doing, but he never said anything because he knows that I'm taking a big risk, you know, and you know, living out here with somebody in there and giving up a lot, you know, visits and that kind of thing. So, but anyways, you know, we stuck together for 4 years without any visits. You know, it's nothing now, you know. It's a lot, but it's nothing. You know, and he's an innocent man that needs to come home.
Right. Well, I know that you said the Ohio Innocent Project was looking into it, and you know the DNA evidence is enough in itself. And it's really big that they have the DNA evidence proving that it was not his DNA at the scene, and they're still not, doing anything about it, just letting him rot. And as long as they have somebody in there, then that's all that matters. But the Ohio Innocent Project, I must say, is one of the best innocent projects that there is.
Right.
You hear about them working cases and pushing cases more than you do any other state.
That's right. You do. And, you just don't know. It's really difficult. Like, he has a lot more patience than I do. But, like I told him, I'm like, is she dodging me, or is it just that she's busy? And he's like, Michelle, you never know. You just have to be proactive. And he's like, you just have to continue to call her until she says to you, stop calling me.
Right. Right.
And then when she says that, then you're going to know.
Right.
So I've learned to be bold. I've learned to continue the fight without trying to be overindulging in it to people where they're just like, I don't want to hear it. So, it would be a lot easier if I had more people on my side that were doing the same thing and we could come together. But, I believe it'll come. I really believe it'll come. And I appreciate this because this is getting out.
Right.
And maybe if somebody is out there that hears this case and wants to know more, please contact me. They can contact me because I'm willing to give whatever I have, his files, his everything to them to show them that he is sitting in there, and I started an organization called Keys to Society, and it's on Facebook, and I started it for him. Right. My cohort, Audrey Dotson, her daughter's doing 3 life sentences, and for a crime she didn't commit. So we both started these because of this, and because of these 2 situations. And I just started a free Aqua Simmons page. I've never done that before. I've seen a lot of people that have, but I never done it, and I wanted to do it. So he has one that's called Free Aqua Simmons, AQU Simmons, SIMMONS. And so, anyways, if you go in there and look, you'll see some stuff on that I have put down there, kind of a long synopsis of what his charges are, what's going on, and that kind of thing. So, anyway, so I think that's about it. I mean, we're just wanting help. Me and my son, we're working hard. I know his family does too. His family loves him very, very much. So they love to see him out. And I would love to get him out to see his grandma and be able to hold her, and
definitely. Time is friend of nobody, and he's been in there for way too long. And I hope that, that she's not avoiding you, that she's just working on the case and other cases that she might have of people that are sitting in there with, evidence of them being innocent, and that you do proceed in this. And I would like to, stay in touch, and anything that I can do, any calls that I can make, and then as well as this, please do not hesitate, because, this is what we got to do. We got to stick together. We got to put our voices together, and we have to fight for these people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's so important.
Absolutely. It really is. And it's just that we, having this faith that, God is really going to do this, and he did what he did. And, he's not asking to get out and say, oh, the state has to pay me all this money back, and that's not what he's looking for. He's just looking to get out.
Right. I mean, that's
You
more
know,
than anything at that point.
right. He just wants to get out. He's not interested in, you know, saying that, oh, the state has to pay me all this money and stuff like that. He just wants to get out to say, you know what, this case is done. I didn't do it. I'm innocent of these charges, and I just want to move on with my family.
Just let me be home.
Yeah. Right.
Let me be able to eat real food and watch TV and lay down comfortably, and just so many things that people take for granted is just snatched away.
Mhm. And I think that's what the state is worried about, too. You know, they have to pay them. I don't know if the quote is right, but somebody told me it's like $1,000 a day for every day that you've been incarcerated falsely. I don't know. I don't know if that's right.
I was in there, and you would be lucky if you got, you know, $20 a day for each day that you did from them. They, you know, just like they try to get everybody to do a plea bargain. A lot of people are not actually 90% of the people in prison, inmates, convicts, whatever label they want to give, the human beings that are in prison, 90% of them are on a plea bargain.
Wow.
They have to plea out to get a lesser charge because they can't afford good attorneys. They can't afford to fight it.
Right.
You know, and then if you think about the percentage of them that is innocent, it's overwhelming. Even if it was one person that's innocent in there, we have to find who they are and fight and go through all these cases and make sure that they got a proper sentencing, that they got a fair trial, that they got the chance that is deserved to any human being.
Mhm.
And I know, you know, there's no way possible we could go through every case of the United States, but it really needs to be done.
Yeah, it does. It does need to be done, and you know, when we started our organization, that was one of the things. We got called by so many people to help them, and our intent was only to help find good lawyers, because there are lawyers out there that will scam guys and women in prison and leave them, take their money and leave.
Right.
And I know a lot of them. And so our whole thing was, we can't get you out, but we can get lawyers for you that we know personally that will not take your money and run.
Right.
And so that was the whole point of our organization, because we just saw so much corruption from the lawyers. And so we just wanted to make sure, and we have a slew of lawyers that we use, that we give out. So their names in the Ohio area. We also have the NLPA. They do it all over the United States. So, but anyways, anybody that can help, anybody that wants to hear more, anybody that, you know, is a lawyer that's willing to do pro bono, or, you know, help with the Innocent Project, I don't know, anything would be helpful. Anything would be helpul. And
have you done a petition for his case to be reopened?
Yeah, I did a petition back in 2014. But it, you know, I do have a petition. It's out there, but it's not, you know, they really don't do anything.
They really
Somebody
don't
had told me, no, they don't do anything with the petitions, and they, you know, it's like you have to get to the top of the levels and that kind of stuff, and you know, I really want to do a lot more with this case, and it's coming to a point where, you know, if I have my own funding, which I'm working on, that I'm going to take it into my own hands and go forward. He doesn't want me to do that because he knows it could get sticky. But it's like somebody's got to do something. And just sitting behind bars is you know, or just not sitting behind bars, sitting out here and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like you're doing time with him and you're racking your brain,
yes.
To try to get any kind of help whatsoever. That
right.
I'm sure you have days that are more frustrating than he does at times, and it's probably just going back and forth, and you guys have to, be each other's strength throughout, through the phone line, through letters, through, visits, through whatever you can do just to hold each other up, because it's a struggle for both of you.
It is. And we stayed strong. I mean, we've had our problems, but we one thing that we have always done was stay together. There hasn't been a time that we may have taken a break, but we've not, said this is over because of this, or this. Because we just don't have time for that. We can decide if it's over when you get out, and we can't stand each other or whatever.
Right.
But I always said, like what you were saying earlier, the thing that you have in that nobody has out here in a relationship is you have trust, your spirituality, and your mental capacity that you have only in a prison relationship like that. Because the first thing that a couple or somebody that meets out here, mainly the first thing that they do is they go right to the attraction part. And, you can't do that when you're in there. You can't do that when you just meet, when you meet somebody in there. You could be attracted to them, but that's all you can do is be attracted to them. Other people out here can take it to the next level where we have to like each other on so many other ways than doing the deed.
Right.
And it doesn't come through, and we talk about that all the time. You're like, who has this strength? The people that have relationships in here, they're the ones that are going to last a lot of the times because they've been through all the rough ups and downs, up and down, and then once they get out, the fun part really begins.
Right.
So, you don't have that when you first get into a relationship. So, anyways, but, anybody that can help would be great for both of us.
Right.
He's in the Ohio prisons here at Madison Correctional right now, but that, is probably going to change in the next 6 months. So, but they can contact me. I'm on Facebook. My name's Michelle, and my last name is Schemmel, and they can contact me.
Yeah, definitely. And then please repeat the Facebook group that you have for him where people can follow along with his story.
Yes, it's Free Aqua, AQU Simmons, SIMMONS.
Right. That way they can follow along. I mean, even if you can't do anything, send positive affirmations, send hope and encouragement, because that too helps way more than you think that it could.
Yes, it does.
So, yeah, please send that, follow along with his story, and hopefully, everybody united can work together and try to help this man get his DNA evidence submitted and, back in the court so that he can get his freedom back. He spent way too long in there with DNA evidence proving that he was not there.
Yes. And we would also even take somebody that's willing to help us with a clemency.
Right.
He said that he could do it. Aqua said that he could do it himself, but that never works. When an inmate does it, it never goes through. So,
well, I mean, I can ask around too. I deal with a lot of people in here, so I can ask around. Actually, if you go to Dawn Behind the Walls, put that request in there and see if you get a response.
Okay. Okay,
yeah,
definitely.
I cannot call a name, but I know somebody does do them. So hopefully, I'm gonna find out who it is, and put that request on the Facebook page, Dawn Behind the Wall. walls.
Okay.
And see if they respond
I will.
before I can find them. That way we're taking it at 2 different angles. And definitely try to air this out here on Dawn Behind the Walls and forward it as much as we can and share it as much as we can so that you never know who's listening.
Yes.
You just
That's
never
true.
know. So,
absolutely. Well,
is there anything else you would like to say?
No, I think that about sums it up.
Yeah. Well, I encourage you to stay encouraged and keep on the fight for him, and don't grow weary in doing good. And I'm here if ever you need me.
All right. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was Michelle, and I urge you all to go to the Facebook group that she referred you to. And, let's just keep doing interview after interview and helping as many people as we can along the way. Like I said, you never know who's listening, and this is just my passion. So, again, Dawn Behind the Walls. Also make sure that you tune into the United Ronin Network, and catch some of the shows there, along with Illuminati Cool and Ralph, and their shows that they do. We look forward to entertaining you. This is a serious show, and I hope that you can take it that way. I look forward to seeing you guys again. I will be uploading whenever I feel like it. So anytime anybody wants to do an interview, please just contact me. We'll do an interview. I will be uploading videos of my walks out here, my meetings, my advocacy. So look forward to those videos. And I will also be sharing different videos throughout the week that are just educational on how corrupt the system is and how it needs a complete overhaul. So stay tuned to Dawn Behind the Walls, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.